Email uncovered, a partially unclassified email that was sent by former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice to herself on the very day that President Trump was inaugurated, has now been uncovered. Catherine Herridge, Fox News senior intel correspondent, is live in D.C. with details. Very strange doings, Catherine.
Well, it is, David. The Republican chairman of the powerful Senate Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley, and fellow Republican Senator Lindsey Graham sent this letter to former National Security Advisor Susan Rice about an email she sent to herself on Inauguration Day, documenting a January 2017 Oval Office meeting between President Obama, then FBI Director James Comey, and former Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates. They're discussing the Russian election interference and the need to determine whether information should be shared with the incoming Trump transition team. The FBI investigation into the Trump campaign contacts with Russia at this point was now entering its 6th month. And the Rice email reads in part, quote, "The president stressed that he is not asking about initiating or instructing anything from a law enforcement perspective. He reiterated that our law enforcement team needs to proceed as it normally would by the book." The senators had given the former National Security Advisor until February 22nd to answer a series of questions. Chiefly, why would she make that kind of claim about the president and his instructions that they follow standard procedure when now all the evidence suggests that standard procedures were not followed in this case, David?
There's an acronym, CYA, which of course we all know, whether some of that was going on, whether she was just trying to prevent, as you say, the impression that she did something which many people think she did do, which is interfere in an investigation. But there's a series of questions that Grassley asks in his letter. And I want to read one of those questions and see how you'd respond. When did you, and he's talking to Susan Rice here, when did you first become aware of the FBI's investigation into allegations of collusion between Mr. Trump's associates and Russia? So the question is, how long was she aware of this FBI investigation going on?
Well, it goes to this issue, I think, of the extent to which the past administration was aware of the Russia intelligence investigation that was being run by the FBI. Remember, this was an investigation that was so closely held that it was not briefed to the senior congressional leadership, the Gang of Eight, but based on what we know to date, it does appear that it was widely shared with senior members of the previous administration. It also goes to potentially this issue of unmasking. This was the identification of Trump campaign associates in foreign intelligence reporting.
She did a lot of that, right?
Well, the allegation is that she did a fair amount, but the person who did the most, or under whose name the most was done, was the former UN ambassador Samantha Power, who sat on the National Security Council, but didn't really have an intelligence position that would require that kind of intelligence-related activity, David.
Of course, they worked very closely together, did they not, Susan Rice and Samantha Power? So
they did, and it's a fascinating email. We don't really know what it means at this point, but it seems to suggest that the president was not in favor of taking action that may already have been underway at that time.
Well, if anybody can get to the bottom of it, it's Senator Grassley. He knows what he's doing.
I'm going to do my best.
And you too, Catherine. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Appreciate it.